those people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Call to order the City Council meeting for the City of East Grand Forks. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2017. It's now 5 o'clock. City Administrator, please call roll.
Mayor Steve Gander.
Here.
Council President Mark Olstad.
Here.
Council Vice President Chad Grassel.
Here.
Council members Clarence Vetter.
Here.
Mike Pochovinsky.
Here.
Tim Riopel.
Here.
Henry Tweeten.
Here.
Mark Demers.
Present.
Does term quorum please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get going here, Chief Helen, we have the swearing in of Officer Jason Schultz. If you want to come forward and introduce him. And
My name is Officer Jason Schultz, our newest officer. He started with the police department last Wednesday, worked his first shift out on patrol last night.
Tim?
Jason, please step up. Just go over me. Raise your right hand. And the first thing we're going to be doing is the law enforcement oath of honor. On my honor,
On my honor,
I will never betray my badge,
I'll never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
or the public trust.
I will always have the courage
I'll always have the courage
to hold myself
to hold myself
and others accountable for our actions.
and others accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution,
I will always uphold the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the agency I serve.
and the agency I serve.
Next is the oath of office. I state your name.
I, Jason Schultz,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
Police Officer for the City of East Grand Forks,
police officer for the City of East Grand Forks,
County of Polk,
County of Polk,
State of Minnesota,
State of Minnesota,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Move on to the open forum, an opportunity for members of the public to address the City Council on items not in the current agenda. Items requiring council action may be deferred to staff or boards and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. If you'd like to address the City Council, please come up to the podium to do so now. See none. Approval of minutes for July 5th, special meeting, July 15th, July 5th, regular meeting, July 11th, special meeting, and July 11th, work session. Move. Moved by Vetter, second by Riopel. Roll call, please.
Olstad.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pochovinsky.
Yes.
Riopel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Scheduled bid lettings, none. Scheduled public hearings, there's none. Consent agenda. Items under consent agenda will be adopted with one motion. However, council members may request individual items to be pulled from the consent agenda for discussion and action if they choose. Any member like any items pulled?
Move.
Henry is moving 5 through 9, correct? 10, excuse me. Are you moving 5 through 10, Henry?
I'll second.
Mr. Grassel seconds. Any discussion? See none. Roll call, please.
Olstad.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pochovinsky.
Yes.
Riopel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Acknowledge a receipt of reports of officers, boards, and commissions. Regular meeting minutes of Water and Light and Power and Building Commission for June 16, 2017. Communication, there's none. Old business, there's none. New business, consider approving the purchase and installation of the AccuSteel building from Structures Unlimited to complete the sand salt storage shed for the amount of $89,980. Is there a motion?
Move.
Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Pochovinsky. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pachivinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 13, consider approving the replacements of the roof sheeting over the Zamboni room at the VFW Arena by GW & Sons Construction for an amount of $12,185.
Move.
Moved by Vetter.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Any discussion or questions? Mr. Demers.
Is this in addition to insurance work or?
Yes, yes. This would be in addition to the insurance work. The main portion of that addition, of course, would all be covered by the windstorm, the insurance from the windstorm. The section over the Zamboni room it's a little bit of a lower roof than the rest of that addition. It wasn't damaged by the storm, but deemed that, just kind of even through our work this spring and looking at the leakage we've had there's been a consistent leak and a lot of screws missing and rust and holes. So hopefully we can have GW & Sons go in and be able to do it all at one time.
And this is paid through?
We had $40,000 budgeted in the building maintenance fund this year for roof repair.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? See none, roll call, please.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pachivinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Consider approving ordinance number 20, fourth series, amending the City Code, Chapter 33, entitled Finance and Taxation, by adding the section 33.03 to 33.014, and by adopting by reference City Code, Chapter 1, and Section 10.99, which, among other things, contain penalty provisions. First reading.
Move.
Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Any discussion or questions? Mr. Vetter.
Just point of clarification, the dollar amount that's listed in there that is including the interest that we're going to pay on the loan then?
Do you know that answer?
And I do not know that answer. That number, that dollar amount came out of the state legislative approval of the special tax. So that's the number that I used in this document. So I can't answer that. You might have to talk to Carla.
I can find that out for you.
Okay, so once the loan to Water and Light is paid back, then the sales tax increase would go away, irregardless whether we've reached that dollar amount or not. So if we spend $2.6 million and everything's all paid off, then the sales tax goes away, even though we haven't hit the 2.8?
That's what from the way that this is until the indebtedness for it is paid off, whichever comes first.
Okay.
And we are not allowed to put anything in here that is not specifically related to the pool there as well. So I think for example, what's happening out there now, that's separate. That would not be included in this cost.
And the language is specifically the language that was passed by the legislature for the specific purposes that we submitted to them. That's in that ordinance.
Anybody else have anything? See none, roll call, please.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pachivinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Consider adopting resolution number 17-07-52, approving the rezoning of Lot 1, Block 3, Garden Valley Addition from R1 Single Family Residential to PUD.
Move. Second.
By Grassel, moved by Grassel, second by Demers. Any discussion or questions? See none, roll call, please.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pachivinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Motion is carried. 16, consider approving the final plat for Garden Valley 6 re-subdivision.
Move.
By
Second.
Grassel, second by Demers. Any discussion or questions? See none, roll call, please.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pachivinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Consider approving the Garden Valley Addition PUD concept development plan.
Move.
By
Second.
Grassel, second by Demers. Any discussion or questions? See none, roll call, please.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pachivinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Consider authorizing the city administrator, clerk, treasurer to issue payment of recommended bills in payroll.
Move.
Moved by Repel.
Second.
Second by Demers. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Olstad.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pachivinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Mayor Gander.
I want to provide an update on our work for the funding of the first 162 feet of Laurel. We worked through a letter that was given to the individuals who own the 8 lots that are affected by the end benefit on Laurel Drive for the building of Brandon, Nate, and Crystal. And we had met already with the owner of 2 of the unsold lots, and he committed to the $1,500. We have some verbal commitments totaling probably 3 more, and then the rest are considering as to what they will do with that. What I would like to see happen is when we get those shored up, if, say, for example, 8 or 7, whatever number that is, we'll have a number from those lots that would be contributed to the project. We already have the number from Mr. Peabody. That will be added to that total. Then we would come back with the total number needed, which Mr. Emery is providing for us, which would then equal the amount outstanding to be considered to be paid through the city, through the state maintenance fund. And we would like to come back to the council if possible and get final action on that request in advance of the August 1, so that the numbers that would be distributed in the final roll given to the residents of Brandon and of Nate Circle and of Crystal could reflect that 162 feet coming out if that was a possibility. And so that's kind of the sequence that we're looking at. I do want to say thank you again to the council for considering this. I want to thank Mike Pachivinsky in particular, who has partnered with me to try to advance this effort. And again, the purpose of it simply is to create an offering to the folks on Brandon, Nate, and Crystal that reflects the value added to their property. So there would be no dispute, so there would be no hesitation. They would say, you know what, this is a good dollar amount, it's a fair dollar amount, and that it would basically erase any objections that might be there. So that's the update. If it may be, we'll have these commitments from the 8. Mr. Galstead is putting together a document which they can sign and indicate whether they want to pay in a lump sum of $1,500 or have it attached as specials. And that would give the city then the right to go ahead and register with the county that special assessment on those properties. Perhaps we could have all this done in the next week and could consider maybe even on the front end of our work session an agenda item for a special meeting that would be to consider the city's involvement in this. If we could get those commitments by that time, I would like to see that. And then we could reflect that number to the total given on August 1 by Mr. Emery to the residents as to what the costs will be for construction of that pavement. So that's the update I have. I sure have, will answer any questions either now or after the meeting if any of you have questions remaining. We were able to meet with all 5 of those that we had not met with. 5 people live in those homes. 1 is still being built and 2 are owned by the developer. And got favorable responses from all 5. Pretty solid commitments from a total of 3 plus the 2 we already had from the unsold lots. Thank you.
Better.
I don't have anything this week, thank you.
Pachivinsky.
Just a quick follow-up to the mayor's comments. We did visit that neighborhood last night, and got a positive response, and I'm optimistic that we'll get a commitment, and just wanted to relay the tone of the conversation and kind of the desire from all of the people in that neighborhood to finally resolve this difficult project that we've been struggling with for some time. The word I would use is that and I don't know if it was mentioned more than once, but they want they want their neighborhood to be neighborly again. And I'm looking forward to a time when it will be, and I think we're making progress towards that. The tone of the conversations that we've had lately has changed to a cooperative, for the most part, a cooperative tone from almost all of the residents, and there's a few hiccups left to, or hurdles left to overcome, but I think there's a possibility that they will be. So going forward, that when this comes to a work session, I expect a healthy debate about it and bring it to a vote and move forward. So thank you, Mayor Gander, for all the time you've put into this, and hopefully we see a light at the end of the tunnel and get it taken care of. So, thank you.
Mr. Reedville.
I just want to thank Mr. Mickelseth and Mr. Stordahl for their fast action on my inquiries this morning. I've got some residents that are happy again. Thank you.
Mr. Tweeden.
Last week, Dr. Gander and I had the privilege of meeting with the great-grandchildren of J.C. Sherlock, one of the great ones in the early days that had a tremendous effect on the development of East Grand Forks and other projects in the area. He had I knew him slightly. I was in the house out at the Heritage Village. We were fortunate to choose that from the flood, and I would like to see everybody involved in city government go out there when there's Heritage Days, look around, go into the home there, read the various statements on the wall. You can see how they lived in the old days. And we were well received by the family. Doc Gander invited them to come back on an annual basis. The unfortunate thing is that very few communities actually retain much of their past or heritage. They don't know much of what happened and how it happened. It's important. You can evaluate what they did and how great they were with so little to work with. And I suggested to these people that they should make it an annual affair. It's a large family. Come up here on Heritage Days every year. And there's a strong Irish inheritance there. But I think it's important that everybody involved in city government should go out there for the breakfast that they'll have on Heritage Days. You buy a pin and that gets it. There will all probabilities be some of our elected officials. And we have a responsibility to help all groups that are trying to take and make a first-class city out of this. So we're a first-class city now. We intend to even make it greater. And I hope to see everybody that's here today out there with Doc Gander.
Mr. Demers.
Nothing today, thanks.
Yes.
Nothing for me.
One thing I'm going to do is congratulate the people who were involved with the Rib Fest this past weekend. Mostly congratulate or thank them for doing that. It was a great event. I don't know if anybody else partake in it. I know Chief Allen was there. I was there. I want to thank Jason and his crew and Chief Allen and his crew. I mean, it was a good night. I think it was run very well for the first time, and I think they're looking forward to many more years of doing it. I think it was very well received, and I think everybody enjoyed themselves. Many more. We should have more of those things. So. Mr. Murphy.
I have nothing.
Mr. Galston.
Nothing unless there's questions for me.
Mr. Emery.
I don't have anything else.
Anything from the department heads? Seeing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Riepel, second by Pachiminski. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay. Aha.